Hello, hello, hello. Crafter Chris here for another Scrap Your Scraps Thursday night. And tonight I am going to make this is actually a new pack of paper. It's a new pattern. It's called New Beginnings by Photoplay, but it's already been used, and I have been sort of gifted the remnants of it to create a non New Year's layout. So we are going to use some leftover black letters, um, some leftover bits and pieces of glitter. I don't know if this is going to make it in or not. That's a full sheet. I kind of I have a hard time cutting full sheets when I'm doing scrap layouts. But we'll keep that aside just in case. You never know. And then I have bits. Oh, I have this interesting frame that's made out of the black glitter. And I am going to do I'm going to do a birthday layout. I might even do more than one layout, but for tonight, I haven't done a layout in ages. So for tonight, I thought I would do a layout. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my trimmer here. I'm making all kinds of noise. I got a bunch of trimmers. And I'm going to get a trim off the, I'm going to use the, what's this one called? New Beginnings ring. Oh, it's called, the pack itself is called Ringing in the New Year. And New Beginnings is the sheet that I'm using as my base. So I've got two of those, and I'm doing a 2-page layout. And I am going to get rid of that zip strip at the bottom. Nothing on it really to hang on to. So I'm going to do 2 of the same. Oop. There we go. And there is my bottom. Now, interesting, the bottom. There we go. So this is what we're looking at. I should move my paint out of the way. I've been doing some mixed media stuff. Give myself the full width. I'm working on my glass mat. I probably shouldn't. I should probably work on my flat paper mats, but all right, I just want to make sure you can pretty much see the whole page. Okay, so I am going to be putting, so I'm going to be keeping the background in the gold, and I want to put a major strip of paper down the center, and I want to sort of enclose it a bit with a different strip on the sides, and maybe something darker across the top just to anchor it. So let me see what I have here now. And I want to make sure I have enough, because I'm going to do 6 inches. And let's see, do I want to do 6 inches of that all the way across, or 6 inches of that all the way across? I think I'll put this down either side, and I'll do 6 inches of this. And I do have some extra of that if I want to use the back. All right, so the first thing we're going to do for this is cut off that zip strip. There we go. Not quite enough, I don't think. Take a little bit more. And I want it running this way, so I'm going to cut 6 inches vertically. There we go. So now I have this going there, and this one going here. Switch that around a little. There we go. Because I'm just noticing I want to alternate the blacks. So far so good. And I think I need maybe, I want to say a 3-inch strip of this on either side. Let's see. If I did that, 2.5 inch. Yeah, maybe 2.5 inch. I kind of want to go between the cups. I don't want to cut the cups in half, but I have the cups cut in half here. So, you know what? We're going to take that strip of the cut cups and we're going to take that off. So we start with a nice clean edge of uncut cups. How's that sound? Say that fast 5 times. And then, I want it to be 12 inches, and I want the cups to be up and down, not on their sides. So I'm just going to flip the paper over, and now I'm going to look at my 2.5, and I'm just going to scooch this over a little bit so it cuts right down the center. So it's a little more than 2.5, but I've made it so that it cuts right down the center of those cups. So now I have a fairly clean cup edge. There we go. So we're going to use that on one side, and I'm going to do the same thing at 2.5 inches. And now see, this one's going to be slightly smaller. Interesting. So they are not exactly the same size, but I'm pretty sure that they will play nicely together because they are so close to similar, similar being the same, that I should be able to get away with it. Alrighty. So I'm going to shove that one under this side, over here, and this one under this side, over here. Alright, now though, I want to put a bit of a black edge on this just to really kind of give some definition to that. And this is where this comes in, and I don't know that it's going to be big enough to go the whole length. Oh yeah. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch strip off of this, and I always like to cut down through the paper. I don't like dulling my blade, so I always cut with my glitter down. So there's my piece for that side, and I'm going to cut another piece for this side. There we go, and that's going to go underneath like that on that side, and underneath on this side, something like that. I always do a dry cut, dry fitting, and then I think I'm going to do the black. Do I want to do it? No, I want to do something else. That's a nice little bit of glitter. I don't need to have much more of that. I think I'm going to pass on more of that, other than trying to fit in this funky little frame that is made out of the same stuff. Now I feel like that if I only do a 1/4 inch strip, oh, that might be okay actually, but I don't have enough of this to make a long enough piece. So, unless I just add it to the end of each of these, would that look any good? Nah, there's no point. So this is going away for now. And I have this piece, which is a little of this and a little of that all mixed into the same sheet, and I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off of that. Actually, I'm going to take 3/8 of an inch off. I want to have a nice piece I can play with. And there's 3/8. So I need 2 of those, one for each side. And that's a little bit different. That should work. All right. And we'll see what happens. So let's kind of try to get this down a little bit. This I'm going to have to straighten out because it was obviously cut for a different purpose, and I want to make that nice and slick. And let's do our sides first. So we're going to do this one. Using my regular adhesive, and I don't have to go too big on this in terms of a lot of adhesive because it's just paper sticking to paper, and it's going to be in a page protector, so I'm not really building anything. And I'm just kitty cornering that up to the edge of the paper. Oh, what happened there? To the edge of the paper. And I feel like it's a bit longer than this paper is. Interesting. Okay, there we go. That's one side. And now I'm going to put down my glitter paper, and I'm just putting a little tiny bit of adhesive on there. Again, it will not need to be super stuck, just enough to keep it on the paper. Oops. There we go. So that's my edge there, and then this guy, I'm going to put it right in the center. So if I've got a mat under here that I can see a little bit of my, it gives me a good idea of where to put my, to line up my paper. So I'm going to get some adhesive on there. And I need to be 3 inches down on one side, so about there, and 3 inches up from the other side, so about there. And I need to make sure I come right into the paper on this side. Whoops, actually, I think I'll do that again. So this is approximately 3 inches here and 3 inches there. And there we go. So let me look at it. Seems quite a bit different on the bottom than on the top. Give it a quick look. 3 1/16, and yeah, it's just slightly off. So while we can still do it, let's lift it up and do it this way with my actual ruler here. There we go. And this is going to sit right there. So this should be 3 inches, and this should now be 3 inches. Okay. The second one is much easier to do because I simply align one side to the other side. All right, so that one's done. Oops, I forgot to put this on. Let's do that. This is going to go right across there. Now, I can have it go right across the top and the bottom, or just the top, or just the bottom. I actually think because these are so similar, I'm going to have them go across the top and the bottom, which means I'll have to cut 2 more pieces. And I want my party hats to be up. And surprisingly, this paper is a little bit wider. All right, there we go. And again, making sure my hats, I don't have hats on this one, I have blowers on this one, so that can be either direction. Confetti blowers don't have to be up or down. Get right along that edge. There we go. All right, now we have some punch there. That makes a statement. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. We'll do the sides first, and then we'll match. And I need to have a little more of this paper before I move forward. Get 2 more 3/8 of an inch pieces. One. And 2. There we go. Excuse me. A little bit of a cold last week. Now, I just want to see how I want that to go. This will be fine. Line it up with the edge. Okay. And now I'll stick this guy on there. Make sure all my adhesive is underneath. Line that up with the edge. looks good. And now this is where I get my first piece, which is already lined up in the center, and my second piece, just so I can figure out where to adhere. Actually, let's do it this way. So then I can see it better in this. Has not been stuck down good enough. There we go. All right. And make sure it goes in the same direction, because if you notice, if I have it this way, all the long black ones are going in the same direction. But if I have it this way, some are going down and then the other side is going up. So I want to keep everything consistent. And I'm just lining it up at the bottom. Making sure that I am on the edge of the paper. Sometimes you can end up going over the paper by accident. There we go. And then the rest should all just come together nicely. And make sure that that adhesive is tucked under all the way across and on the ends. And this one has hats. So we're going to have the hats sitting in the right direction. Goes right across the top beautifully. And make sure we don't have adhesive hanging off the edges. Nope. And this has not, it's got the tip of hats, so we should probably make sure we have those tips the right way up. Alrighty, and it looks like my glasses are upside down here, so I'm gonna have to switch that around. I'm just noticing that on this piece and on the other piece, that the glasses, even though they're sideways, were sideways upside down. So, and that's because I cut across the top of the paper rather than this side of the paper. All right, so this one is going up. It's going up and down. These are all going up. This is going up and down. These are all going up. And these are up as well. Well, so now I do have some difference, so I want to figure out which side I want to be on my right and which I want to be on my left. So on this side I have a double row of black showing here, which kind of stops your eye flow, kind of gives you a barrier there. If I switch it around where it's more open here with the black and it's not as solid with the black, it sort of gives you the feeling like you'll slide right off the page. So we're going to go back to the beginning. Just had to see how that would work out. There we go. And this is my basic layout. So that worked out okay. So I don't think we need any other paper. So there's a couple of things that I would like to use here. This says cheers to a brand new year, and it's a birthday, so that makes perfect sense. Happy New Year, I don't really want to see. Hello New Year, I don't really want to see. And New Year loading, I don't really want to see. But kiss me now, midnight is past my bedtime. That doesn't necessarily lead into a new year. That could just be midnight is past my bedtime because I'm so old. So I think we're going to use those two elements on the page. So I'm just going to get my cutter to cut those two. They were on the back of this page here, so I might as well use what I can. There's that one. And I'm just going to cut this one out. I don't need to cut the whole paper because I can use some of this paper for something else on the other side. There we go. And then I have at least a good piece there that I can use for something else. Now, trim this off. I'm likely not to use this piece in with all the excess around it. I think I'm probably going to use that as a subtitle. This, I'm thinking, would look great under that frame if I can get it all to fit there. And I can. It's a little tight, but it will fit there, so I can have a photo and then this on the inside of the photo, the other photo frame. Okay, so let's get this straightened up a little bit. And I think I'm going to do this with a mini guillotine because I don't want to have any drag on it. I want it to cut nice and clean. So the natural force of a guillotine is to push this way. So sometimes you'll notice your paper, if you're not holding it tight enough, will kind of shift to this side because that's the direction the force is. So that's why I have a small guillotine that has this really great bottom edge. Now the other thing is I kind of want to square it. So I'm going to do something like this. And try to make it as square as I possibly can. And just do a quick cut. I actually think I need to go a little further. There we go. There we go. Look at that nice square edge now. Looks great. And again, I'm going to have to play with the side here and the bottom because I need to get that looking similar. And didn't come off as straight as I wanted, so I am going to turn it upside down and get that center section that it kind of buckled out. And I think I'll do the same on this side. There we go. And that tidies it up nicely. And the rest of that is kind of garbage. And so now we have a much nicer looking frame. And now I can actually stick this down where I want it to be on here. And it's really going to be tight, but I am going to go for it. So I am going to put glue on the outer 3 sides, and this side I'm not putting glue on because I want to be able to trim the bottom. So I'm just getting my art glitter glue, or my bare glue, or whatever it's called. And I'm going to leave the bottom open and adhere that after the fact. Oops. And I don't want any glue on either side there. And the nice thing about white glue is that you can rub it off on your fingers. Okay, so, all right, so I'm just going to flip that over, put some pressure on it. There we go. And whatever glue is there will disappear. And I'm going to give it a quick dry because I want to do some cutting and I don't want it to slip. It just takes a second to dry up. There we go. And now I can trim it down to the size I want. Got a little bit of glue there. And now I can go in here and trim, and now I can glue that down after I finish cutting this last side. There we go. All right. And now that fits in perfectly. Kiss me now. Midnight is past my bedtime. So I'm just going to slip a little bit of glue. Ooh, the glue is coming out of here. My office must be under pressure today, because that's usually what happens when my office is under pressure. So I just put it on my ruler, and I can always just rub it off my ruler because it's balls up. And I'm just going to press that down, rub the glue off my mat, and take any extra off with my finger and roll that into the garbage too. There we go. And now I have a space for a photograph, and I have my little saying above it. So let's put our lid back on the glue. Alrighty, so here we are at this point, and that's a cute little thing there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing here. Cheers to a brand new year. I am going to get my handy dandy ruler for lining up my thickers. And I am going to get the black thickers. And I'm going to put something like Happy Bee Day, because I don't want it to go all the way across. So let's start with Happy Bee Day. And I can always expand if I don't like the way it looks. Alrighty. Again, making sure your ruler is on the right side. And I'm going to give it some room because I want to have some space for putting some decorations around it. And I'm just going to flatten it all out. And get a long ruler, because it's a long word. Help me snap it off. I'm just going to put pressure across the top of the word, and then this just pops out underneath. And there we go. Happy B-Day. I'm having problems with this D. It needs to be straighter. And maybe that A can come over just a tad. There we go. That's better. Happy B-Day, and now I just pop off a little dot that goes right in the center. There we are, and that's done. Now, I'll work with that in a minute. So I think I'm going to slim this out a little bit because I want that to be a secondary title. So let's trim that out. I'm going to leave an inch. So this is from there to there. It's an inch and a half. So I'm going to leave an inch for the first cut, and I'm going to leave a half an inch. Yeah. So I'm uplining the bottom of all the majority of the letters at that half-inch line and sloughing off a piece. And let's see how that fits. I still feel it's a little bit too much. So I'm going to take another 1/4 inch off of this. And I'm going to take a half an inch more off of this. Let's see how that fits. And that fits to me just a little bit better. It's not so overwhelmingly large. And I'm going to hang on to these bits because they have floral pattern on them, and they'll be good for something, a card or something. All right, now this guy I want to round the corners, and I'm going to pop dot. So let's get the corner rounder. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to pop dot this, and I'm going to use strips of pop dot material because it's a long piece. It's going to need some support, and but not too much, just 2 long strips. That should pop it off nicely, and it gives me some space to tuck some things in as well. All right. And we're going to go here, and I'm just going to have it cross over a tiny bit. Cheers to a brand new year. Okay, so now let's look at this as we have it together. This is going to go somewhere there, or maybe it should go somewhere there. Don't know. All right, I'm going to pull out my mats and decide it's a birthday, so we want to have a large photo of the birthday person. So this is like a 5 by 7. And we could do 4 by 6. And then we can do another 4 by 6 here. Maybe we'll bring that down. 4 by 6, 4 by 6, 5 by 7. And then that one, oh, just get these all back on here. I have a whole ring of them that I've pre-made. It just helps me, I think it's 2.5 by 2.5, which I may not have a photo mat for, but let's see. I actually have to make a photo, so it's 2.5 by something else, so I'll make a new one for that. And actually, put these guys here. And that one will go there, and I'm just thinking this out a little bit. Maybe 2 smaller ones here, 2 by 2s. That might be fun. 2 by 2s, and we'll have them straight up and down. This will be on an angle. I'll have some stuff coming out of there. This can be on the same angle, so everything on this side's going that way, and everything on this side's going that way. Alrighty. Now I do want to have mats, I think. I need, because the background is so busy, to have some mats. So I'm making mats out of this background. So it's the back of this. So I'm going to use this dark black. And I just want to make sure it's going to work. And that will just pop it nicely. So this is 5 by 7. So I'm going to make this 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. So that's what we're going to cut this. And then we're going to cut out of the inside because I don't like wasting paper underneath photos. So this is going to be 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, so that's 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and now I'm going to cut out a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 out of that. Yeah, I don't know that I'm short, but I'm just going to trim that off with scissors. This pattern is very difficult to see through, and I didn't use my math to begin with, so there we go. And just trimming it up to the line. There we go. And then trimming this one up to the line. There we go. So I have a 4 by 6, a 5 by 7, well, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and now I can get a couple of things out of here. So I'm just going to actually trace this outline because I want it to fit in there. Let me just find something to use. Pencil, here we go. So I have to leave a little space for adhesive. So I can cut this one out of here. There we go. That's for this one. And 2 by 2s. I can get one other 2 by 2. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'll actually take that out mathematically. So let's get this first one cut out. So this has come out, but I'm just going to stick these two together. I was off by a 1/4 inch, which happens sometimes. And I'm just going to stick it together on the bad side, and nobody's going to notice the difference because the pattern is going to be aligned. And there we go. And a picture's going over top, so it's all going to be good. Scissors. There we go. There we go. So there's one 2 1/4 inch square, and I need one more 2 1/4 inch square. And this is our 4 by 6, and I need one additional 4 1/4. Oh, I hope I can get it. That's only 4 inches. And that's okay. So we're going to have to tape these two pieces together to make a 4 by 6. This is how you fix a problem, or if you're running out of paper, you just make it happen. There we go. So we're going to cut that down 4 1/4 inches wide. There we go. Some pieces to keep for something else. And 6 1/4 this way. And then I'm going to do 2 1/4 out of the center of this. Just got to trim that out. There we go. And there's my other 2 1/4, and here's my other 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. There we go. Okay, how to make your scraps stretch. All right. So now, for the sake of, I'm going to tape this to this for now. So I'm going to line this on the inside. Put a little piece of tape because I can pull this off after when I'm ready to put the real photo down. But this will keep everything together. So there we go. We have our matted 5 by 7, and now I can actually stick it down. All right, and I wanted this one to go here, and that one to go there. So there is, there we go, that can go there. And then this is going to go down here. You can go straight. No, I like it on a jaunty angle. There we go. And then I'm just going to stick my 4 by 6 over top. Now, we'll likely be able to see the cutaway underneath here and here because this is thin paper. Alrighty, and now I'm going to do my 4 by 6 going the other direction in a jaunty angle. A little piece in there. And I would like my jaunty angle to be kind of the same. So let's get our pieces aligned. There we go. And then I'll just temporarily stick this down on there. There we go. And we're going to have this on a jaunty angle as well. And these guys, I think I'll move that down just a little bit. Goes that way. All right. Okay, so this, oh goodness. That's it for my tape runner. And I do not want to waste all this. So I'm just going to stick that right there. We got lots to spare here. So I'm just leaving it on my container so I can pull it off and use it. But the crucial thing is to not have anything stuck to my paper. There we go. And now I just need a little glue for the outside edge. Okay. And this is going to be on a jaunty edge. That way. There we go. And we'll stick this down. This can go with some adhesive. It's already here. There we go. And this way we didn't lose anything, because I am the queen of scraps. And it would be not good for me to lose anything. Okay, for this moment, we are going to put this on, but we are going to change the size. So that I remember to cut it properly. So this is going to be 2.5 by 2 3/4. So 2.5 by 2 3/4 is what this really is, even though it doesn't look that way. So my cut actually is going to be 2 1/4. Better make sure I do it right. 2 1/4 by 2.5. 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. There we go. And I'll stick that down with a little piece of tape. That goes in there. There we go. And then these guys get stuck on. We center those. There's one. And there's 2. And they can go right there. I'm liking it so far. Yes, I am. Okay, perfect. Ah, see? I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I wanted to have the 3 in the center. Oh, well. I'm probably the only one that will notice. Alrighty, now I need to get some more adhesive. This is an opportunity for me to show you how the cassettes go into this. If you've never used one before, it's very super simple. You just pop this little guy open, lift out the cassette, and drop the other one where the holes are. And that's it, ready to roll. It's crazy how simple that is. Alrighty now. And okay. And we'll put one here. And I'm trying to follow the line here. Actually, I'm going to move that top one up just a tiny bit. So there's a little more space. There we go. So our photos are on. And we have now just to do the doodads. And if you're like me, you like to sparkle things up a little bit. So we do, even though we have a tiny bit of sparkle, I like to use the wink of Stella to add detail to the letters and make them sparkle a little more. Look at that. That's what we call a work surface under stress. So it must be humid in here or dry in here, one or the other, because it's sucking the glue right out of the bottle. Alrighty. Things you deal with in your craft room. All right, so excuse me. Let me see day or number on there. Okay, so what do we have here? We want to have some party delights happening. And this says Happy New Year, and I'm okay with that because we've already related to it being a birthday, being a brand new year. Midnight is past my birthday, so it's have a Happy New Year in terms of your, except I don't like the colors. They'll disappear completely. All right, so we're not going to use those. So what else do we have? We have Let's Pop the Bubbly. That's cool. Let's look at some of these fun things. Top hats, I think I'll stay away from that because that kind of makes it a little bit more like New Year's. But we definitely can have some additional wine glasses. There's nothing to say you can't drink lots of bubbly. And I can add those right onto my sticker. There we go. And this little guy, I think I'll leave him for another project. We already have a big cheers, so I don't need anything that says big cheers. I like this Oh When a Night. I am going to leave the flag part on this side, but I'm going to tuck this flag part underneath here and try to line it up straight with what's going on underneath. So Oh What a Night. And I've got this one that says This Will Be My Year. I can add that just underneath. Come on. Pop it up a bit. There we go. And try to center that between the top of the photo and the other flag. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this Happy New Year one and I'm going to pop it right there. And I'm going to put a different sentiment over this Happy New Year so that it won't, you know, present itself as that whole New Year thing again. So let me get a couple of pieces of this to keep it nice and popped. This and this, and a little bit on here. I'm just going to take some dust and I'm going to dust down the sticky that's all around it. So I'm just putting the dust from my duster on the sticky and on the actual string because I don't want the string to go flat when it gets put into a binder or an album rather. And I haven't pulled the sticky off my pop dots yet, so that's the trick. Once you pull that sticky off or the backing off, then you can't really do this. Blow it off. All right. Now it won't stick where you don't want it, and it will stick where you do want it. So let me just put that right there, and this will go down. There we go. And now I want to put a new saying over this. I could do something like time to party. So I think I will do that. And just manipulate it a bit more down. There we go. Time to party instead of New Year's. And what else can I do? Oh, I wanted to put my year date. I don't need to do that. And we have celebrate. No. No. I want something to pop out of here. So I do have a tag, which I could slip in there, but I don't want to do that. So we have a balloon, we have a couple of balloons. I could put something different over this cheers. Let's see what I could put over this cheers. I could put, over this, I'm just putting this in as if it's supposed to be a double saying, celebrate, cheers. And I want to try and line it up so it's almost centered, so it looks like it's celebrate, cheers, because I don't want to get it too involved with that one. And on this, I can pop the top edge of this. So let's pop the top edge of this, and we're going to let the bottom edge stick where it's supposed to stick. Sorry, I've got to just trim here. There we go. And then I can stick things underneath. Or I could put it there. There we go. I like that better. And just adjust that slightly. I could even add Midnight Kiss underneath, just to give it some oomph. And a couple of stars. There we go. Look at how perfect that is. Nice little sentiment there. And a couple of balloons coming out over here. And I'm going to pop them one on top of the other. I think I'll put this one first. Put a piece of pop dot. And I'll let those stick down. That's what I'm going to do. But I do need to get rid of some of the stickiness around the balloons. Because I don't want the top part of it to stick. I want the bottom part to stick. And it can go right there to there. There we go. And we can add a little pop star there. Sometimes you have to trim these pop dots down just a tiny bit to get them to not show on your page. There we go. And this little star will go right there. There we go. I like this bubbly sign. I'm just going to have that stick out of there. Maybe I'll have it stick out of there. Like that. And what else? Happy birthday. Don't want to overdo it because it gets to be too much, but it is a birthday, so you want there to be some celebratory kind of things. Okay, so we are going to have some of this stuff hanging down. There we go, a little bit of that to fussy up the top. Got one more just to finish it off there, and I'll trim the excess off across the top. And I've got some bubbly here. And a star. Actually, I think I'm going to stand that up a little better. There we go. Not so weird. This is where I can add the other one. No, I can't. And top 10 moments. It's a bit crooked. So basically the rest of this is just putting things where you think you'd like to see them, and kind of making it, let's see, what else can I put? I feel like I just need something here. But maybe not. Do this. Let's pop the bubbly, and then I can just have that sticking on there. And these guys, still not the right angle. There we go. That's a little better. All right, I'm going to stop there because you can just get absolutely crazy with decor. And let's see what we have so far. So this is New Year's paper, that we have turned into a birthday layout. I like it. Top 10 moments. Let's pop the bubbly, bubbly, pop fizz clink. Celebrate, cheers, midnight kiss. Oh, what a night. This will be my year. Time to party. Kiss me now. Midnight is past my bedtime. Cheers to a brand new year. That all sounds happy birthday-ish to me. All right, so other than adding a little bit of Wink of Stella, which I will do, and the photo you'll see at the beginning will have the Wink of Stella on it, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to the birthday words and a little bit to the stars just to have them glimmer and glitz just a tiny bit more. Other than that, I'm done. And I just need the photos to go with this. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please feel free to share it with your friends. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel at the end of the video at the bottom of the screen, so you can see more of my crafty endeavors. And we will see you next Thursday. Good night.